Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage. This is one of the good days in the garage because I get to use this and I have this inside. The Volvo 244. I called it 242 in the previous video because I have a hard time rewiring my brain, but it is a 44 because it got 4 doors. Anyway, the reason why this car is in the garage, it's not mine as mentioned in the previous video. It is a friend of mine and it is using a lot of fuel. But maybe it's normal, but I think something is a little bit off because currently it's driving 6 to 8 kilometers per liter, which is not a lot. I think it should be more like 8 to 10, which is not a lot either, but better. So I have a feeling that that something is wrong either with the carb or the timing. I actually think the timing is a bit off because it's not completely hot yet, but it's not running completely like I want it to run at least. So I'm going to, for fun, use my sun tester and try to see what that tells me, and then go around and checking all the basic stuff, the dwell angle, the actual timing. There's a lot of stuff that I can check on this engine, and it's nice to have my fingers in this car because Volvos are just nice cars and they are nice to work on. It's going to be a great evening, but I'm gonna let the engine heat up and the sun heat up and then get back to you when that is done. There is still 13 minutes of waiting time to wake this beast up. This beast is already waking up. A bit lumpy. So I got the wires connected to the car. The sun tester is heated up and it should be ready now to fire it up and do some testing. I would like to do a balance test to begin with, just for fun. And then we're going to dig into the business stuff of checking the ignition timing and so on. I'm gonna fire the car up now. I just need to press this before. There we go. And now we have some readings, and you will have to live with the bar going up and down from time to time. I can't see that, but you can. Let's try that power test. Cylinder balance test. The cylinder balance test, in case you haven't watched the videos on this machine, will switch off one cylinder at a time and then measure the drop and the change in exhaust readings. Do remember that the exhaust readings are not precise because it's not calibrated, but it will show an indication of change at least. So when I start this, it will switch off one cylinder at a time and then we'll get a reading. So let's try that. Now you can hear that it's actually switching the cylinder on off. You can see the engine is rocking. So what it tells us now is that when it switched off cylinder number 3, it dropped 77 revolution per minute, and the ppm of unburned fuel hydrocarbon came up by 1300 or 1400. Now it's doing the next one, or 87 actually. And what we want to see is pretty much the same numbers on each cylinder. That will indicate that the cylinder balance is good. Wow! Oh, it's close. It's really close. That is impressive. The owner actually had a worry that maybe there was a leaking head gasket on it. I really doubt it, but this test will also show if there's indications of that. There we go, the test is done. These numbers are very even. These numbers are pretty even. This engine is really in balance. I'm not going to say healthy. I think it is healthy, but it is at least in balance. So that's good. That's really good. And then I'm just going to do an exhaust gas test to see what it reads. It's, as mentioned, not saying that much because I'm not sure that it's calculated. Oh, you can see me. Hello. Oh, it's not calibrated, was what I was trying to say. According to this, it is running a little bit rich, but not bad though. But I have now disconnected the gas analyzer because now I'm gonna focus on the timing. And this shows us the cam, the dwell angle, and the engine revolutions. So we can work with those numbers. I'm just gonna rev it and see if it settles a little bit. The idle is supposed to be 900 plus minus 15. And currently we have a little bit above that. The dwell angle should be 62 plus minus 3. And it's this number down here as far as I know, so that is all right. So the point should be correct. Let's check the timing. It is showing 15 before top dead center, but we need to disconnect the vacuum advance to actually check it correctly. And it's showing 20. According to this, it should be 10 plus minus 2 at 700 to 800 revolution. Maybe we should actually go with this instead of the Haynes manual and lower the idle a little bit and then check again and then set it to 10. That's about there. I'm just going to plug that vacuum line. It's still at 900. Then I'm going to check the timing again. It's showing 20 and it's supposed to be 10, so we are going to alter the ignition timing. It seems a little bit stuck. Now that's better. Ah, that's close. A bit more. Bit too much, maybe. It's right there. That was actually a pretty big change. So the timing was quite a lot off. And before I go any further, I'm just going to check if the vacuum advance is working. I'm going to try to film it. It will be hard to see. I think I'm going to connect that rubber line firstly. That will change the timing most likely a little bit. And I'm going to look down and then I'm going to rev it, and then I want to see the timing mark move. That way I know that the ignition advance system is doing something. Yeah, it is. Now we got way too low idle after the change, so let's just raise that up a little bit. Just to make it clear, the Sun machine is very cool, but this is pretty basic stuff. You don't need a big machine for this. But now, I'm just going to unplug it again and see. And it's right on where it's supposed to be with the vacuum gauge unplugged. And with it plugged, it will drop back. So the engine was running at 20 degrees before top dead center before. Now it's running 10 degrees with it unplugged. So that will for sure make a difference. I'm not clever enough to know if it makes a difference on the fuel consumption or the power or whatever, but it will make a difference, that's for sure. So this is where we are at with the engine now. I think it's a lot smoother, that's one thing. It is where it's supposed to be timing wise. I've just put in the exhaust analyzer once again, and it shows, as remember, we can't really know for sure if it's showing correct numbers. The CO is supposed to be around 2% maximum, and that looks to be fine, but I don't know for sure. But I actually think that is pretty correct. But what is interesting is to see that this down here is the air-fuel ratio. You want that to be stoichiometric. It's not. It's closer, and it's a lot leaner than it was before. Before it was running pretty rich. And that explains why it's not getting the best fuel economy, I think. So I think we have made quite a big difference right here. So this is it. The next thing I want to do is to do a test drive, but it's completely dark. I can do a test drive, but it won't be much fun to watch on video, so I will wait until the morning. So see you tomorrow. So it's the day after, and I'm getting ready to actually test the Volvo. It's completely cold right now, so we need to give it some shock. One of the exciting things is now that I have altered the ignition timing, the cold starting could be altered also. Hopefully not too bad, but I think it would be starting better with the other setup. Well, let's try. It's all right. It's all right for sure. I didn't give it any throttle to begin with, then I gave it a little and then it kicked in. I don't know this car, so I don't know how the ideal way to start it is, but there's choke on now, of course. So let's just drive it, let it heat up a little bit, see what happens. This is such a tank to drive out of the to drive. It's really, I just feel so safe in this car. So far so good. It drives perfectly on choke at least. But I want to heat it up and then give it the beans to see if the torque that I was expecting this engine to have is there now. It's definitely going to be different because 10 degrees of timing will alter things quite a lot. It will be difficult for me to say if the fuel consumption is better, because that will I would need to drive quite a bit to measure that. But I expect it to be honest. So, but I will take it back once the engine is hot, so we can give it some throttle. So that will be a while. It's a big engine. So see you in a bit. And the Volvo is up to running temperatures now, and I'm currently driving 40 kilometers per hour. I'm just going to try to floor it, and then it's going downhill now. So just wait a second. And see how it feels. Yeah, that's much better in my opinion, and the whooshing sound is still there, but it's different. It's more like I remember my 2.3. I think it's pretty much the same engine, just a bigger bore. It feels much more torquey. It's so hard to say when I cannot just jump back in the old setup and test that, but it feels like the power is pushing me a little bit more than before, and more like I am expecting this car to do actually. So it feels better, which is no surprise. I do have a feeling though that it shifts down a bit quicker than I would like. That could be due to this being a 3-speed and mine was a 4-speed, but it doesn't take a lot of throttle for it to kick down. But that could be adjusted, of course. But it could also be just the way it's supposed to be. But it feels better now, and I think it will give a better fuel consumption. Also, it won't be groundbreaking, but it will be better than what it was before. I'm pretty sure of. But I will just have to wait on the verdict on that one, because Mads needs to drive it for a bit and then calculate before we can say anything about that. But I think it's better. So yeah. Oh, it was nice to work on a Volvo once again. I really like these cars, and I know a lot of you also like Volvo. So it was a nice thing. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you at the next one.